worse things out there, man. Like, way worse things out there. It was well done, nostalgia bait is what it was. Yeah. Plus, I thought they did a really good job of handing the reins over to like what would be essentially the next generation going forward. Like with it would, yeah, exactly, would have been led by, what was it, 7 of 9, right? Yeah, which was good. Like I thought they did a really good job of moving the series in that direction. Like it was yeah, yeah. Like it actually fleshed out Robbie's character quite well. I was like, yeah, alright. I was like, yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what happened after that, but mm-hmm. Ha. All right. Mm. All right.
With communications disrupted, we will have nothing but each other and our zeal.
Huh.
This sector cannot receive Imperial communications without the relay here on Avalax.
Hopefully some astropaths still live. Losing them all would be a heavy blow to this sector.
Still wolf.
some madness ahead.
Hmm.
Combatant.
Yeah.
What needs grappling?
Hmm. Hmm.
All specs ready to slide. ready. The heretics use that shaft to access the lower floors. Let us avenge the dead. The traitors conveyed us to a hostile location.
It hungers. It will seek out your anguish to whet its appetite.
Look for the epicenter of the corruption, brothers. Tread cautiously, brothers. This madness is everywhere. On your guard. That astropath is going to attack. It cannot be allowed to live.
Languish.
Turning back.
I see you, champion in the ether. Approach and binge upon their suffering.
This astropath does the bidding of the heretics now.
Aids and chainswords were made for this kind of obscenity.
Vile confluxes power that shield. Retreat is not permitted. We must kill the astropath.
One with us.
Shrine is known.
Yes, it's very cool, yeah. Depends.
Folk that monstrosity.
Area depends.
No foul altars remain.
Astropath. Swapping out.
Do not fear the change of pathway. The path has been set, your fate decided. None shall escape the insatiable war of transformation. You will be only the first.
I see our objective, brothers. Corruption speaks with our voices, but our zeal will shield us from the psychic subterfuge. is to slaughter the interlopers. A shield of sorcery protects the astropath.
Rupture the Psycho support network.
Our victory is already complete.
Using our own astropaths against us.
Let us cleanse these lost astropaths. The shield network weakened. Eliminate the profaned astropath.
True gods will reign.
Heretic astropath terminated.
Not yet, no. What about that? Heretics 4. Oh, okay.
You will never leave this place. Is already lost. Your efforts are in vain.
Which means the lead psyker is vulnerable. Target the possessed fiend, brothers.
Where is this psycho? Psychotic piece of jumbled filth.
What needs grappling? Whatever they have brought forth will die by our hands.
We're going straight into the warp with this one, please. That is definitely does not support this action.
Check your aim.
Do not get turned around. The enemy has shifted. Now we are about the damn thing.
Crap.
Purge that atrocity.
The pressure.
Hold fast, brothers. It pulls us into darkness.
Well, well done.
The air here is total mind. Whoever finds us an exit will have my thanks. A possible path to deliverance appears to us.
That beast will know my wrath. Start lopping off those limbs, brothers.
Tentacles down! Hit the demonic bastard with everything we have!
Thousand Sons reinforcements inbound.
Do not let a single unholy cur touch that beast, brothers!
Vortex Beast scan ready. Arming up.
Bye-bye. Go back to the warp where you came from. And stay there.
Heretics cannot call on that abomination.
We have triumphed again, brothers, and our honor is unsullied.
skip this end screen for some reason. Still waiting on this loading screen. Sometimes it seems that when you're done with the mission, you just gotta play through it all, apparently. Ooh, disconnected. Ah, that sucks. Still, all in all, I think we can call it a good game, a good round. It was interesting. Fighting through chaos there. The Hellbrute fight, relatively simple. Once you see its rotations and you actually see it for what it is. Ooh, server disconnection issues. Ah, well. Love the Bulwark. My favorite class, the first one that I ever leveled up to 25 back in the day when I first played. Till today, I still love it. Although getting used to block fist is definitely been a change. So let's start with that. So yeah, as far as the fist is concerned, I do use the block fist. I switch between that and the fencing power sword. Like I'll go between one or two. For chaos, I prefer using the block fist. For Tyranid, I prefer using the power sword. That's just me. Um, the reason why is because I think you've noticed chaos enemies have slightly slower attack animations. So it's more like you just watch them and then do your block when you need to. Um, the Tyranid, on the other hand, they all attack very rapidly, so using a weapon that has a faster speed is usually more to your advantage, at least in my experience. So, as far as perks are concerned, the first thing I do is take Perpetual Strength for extra um, damage. Of course, this one is fine too. Armor Strength is not bad, you know. Um, um, taking the Swift Recovery, where heavy attacks restore more contested health is fine. Although I think in most cases, generally speaking, I think your pistol attacks restore more contested health than melee attacks. So, for that reason, I think this one is better. Taking heavy preparation, which reduces the charge time for heavy attacks in general. Um, and you can use it just to dish out damage, and then just use your pistol to recover your contested health. So, and then from there, take double perpetual strength for, extra melee damage. So by then, that's like what, 15, 5, 10, 15. Switching over to focused intention, when your health is below 30%, you take 50% less health damage while you're preparing heavy attacks. This is really, really good because when your HP falls to 25% and lower, you start taking reduced damage in general, and it ramps up. It's actually a hidden game mechanic, so it actually stacks with this, so it's very good, right? This is really, really decent when you're fighting against enemies who, particularly like Chaos, who have slower attack animations. Giving yourself more time to get those big retaliation power heavy attacks over a larger radius, very, very strong. Also, while preparing those heavy attack, you take 20% less range damage. Very important versus Chaos. Not so much versus Tyranid, but it is what it is. Following blow is decent. It usually, after you do a big heavy attack, a small, simple melee after that will usually put a Majoris in execute range. Very useful to have. And taking the combo perk, after you do a heavy attack, the next light attack does 10% more damage. Stacks well with this. And it, like I said, it puts an enemy in guaranteed execute range for Majoris most of the time. And you take this just to round it up. Minoris enemy buffs, not really that important, in all open honesty. So, switching over to the pistol, I do take the Rate of Fire version because it's the best way to get contested health back. Here are the perks, right? So you take this entire line with these two here. I'll explain my thought process. I prefer it when the weapon uses less energy reserve because I'm using the rate of fire version, right? Um, this perk here, I don't use it all the time, but it's something that's nice to have. I don't know how often it procs, but you know, it's useful. Um, Again, anything that reduces the amount of energy that you're using or increases your energy reserve, very, very useful to have, right? So again, right, energy weapon reserve, really, really good because you tend to be shooting more rapidly. So, increased damage. The blast radius is decent, particularly for charge shots. I think you saw it when I was using it against the chaos spawns during the final boss fight. It was actually splashing onto some of the cultists and killing the small dudes. So very useful. Charge shots uh, going 20% faster is very important, especially on the rate of fire variant. Again, super useful. Again, weapon reserve increase. You know, at this point it's 20, 40, 60% extra energy. You know, you can't really complain, right? And charge shots from this weapon use 2 less energy. Stacking, really, really good. And of course, you know, this one here is just it's something that's useful to have, right? After you do a dodge, it cools your pistol. Very useful. As for the perk tree, I think you saw from the earlier bit there, I was sitting on this one, right? Perfect parry deals air effect damage. This is very good when you take a fencing weapon. So I usually use this when I'm running the fencing sword against Tyranid. But when it comes to chaos, I prefer to take this one, right? When your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 10 seconds, right? Enemies in the shock area take 25% more damage. This is very good when paired with this. When you do a perfectly timed parry or block, it creates a shock area for 5 seconds on a 30-second cooldown, which is very, very good. By taking this, right, when your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less damage for 10 seconds. It stacks very well with Focus Restoration, where every 30 seconds, squad members get 1 armor segment. This is very, very strong on the absolute difficulty. Even though contested health fading 50% more slowly is universal and a very good perk, on absolute in particular, this one is very strong because of the fact that on absolute difficulty, in order to restore armor naturally, passively, you would have to have not taken any damage for almost a minute. I think it's like 50 or 55 seconds. So this basically cuts it in half. So it's very, very good. Right. Of course, I take Purity of Purpose, right, where the banner deals damage over time. Basically, it's like an extra shock grenade. Sure. And if you have this on top of that at the same point, ooh, enemies drop very quickly. Invigorating Icon is always, in my opinion, always a useful perk to have no matter the situation, because it is not only forgiving of mistakes or whatnot, but also if you're up against stratagems that make finding health stims or other ways to recover HP very difficult, this is a life-saving perk. So on absolute difficulty, I always take this for sure. For this last bit, a lot of the time, if I'm running like the fencing one, I'll bring this, where the banner will revive. And the reason why is because against Tyranids, sometimes you don't want to be kneeling down to revive teammates. It's better to just plant this on them, give that person and you full contested health, and you just duke it out and get your HP back, right? But against Chaos, I'd rather run this one, right? Merciless Resolve, where after you do your shield bash, you will do 15% extra damage, and you won't lose control upon taking heavy hits most of the time. Not the most consistent, but it's okay. Defensive Mastery is, in my opinion, still the best Bulwark perk of the signatures, right? This one is okay, right? The extra reserve shock grenade is okay, but its cooldown is longer than this one. If they had the same cooldown, then this would be extremely powerful. If this was 30 seconds instead of 45, it would pair perfectly with this, and it would be unbelievably strong. But defensive mastery, the fact that this doesn't only affect the Majoris that hit you immediately, that you parried or block, but I've noticed that sometimes it puts all of the enemies who are in the immediate vicinity, right, into execute range. Is extremely powerful, even if it's on a 90-second cooldown. Very, very strong, right? And then as for the perks, right, I take auxiliary reload, right, because it's very, very nice. As soon as you eliminate an extremist, you actually get ammo back for your plasma pistol, right? Resilience, where your stims restore 40% more health, is just something that's useful to have on the side. It's just a nice, decent thing to have. Overcharge, held and charged attack damage increases by 20%. Very, very good on the block fist, and decent on a fencing sword. And last but not least, right, Masterful Defense, where your ability recharge is restored by 1% for every blocked ranged attack. In all open honesty, this should really be the first one that you want to take. So as soon as you can, take this one. It's probably the most powerful of all the Bulwark perks. But yeah, so that's my build for my Bulwark. And I hope you enjoyed watching it. So I really appreciate you taking the time to see this video. I love this game and I love making content for it. If you'd like to see more, please feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and put comments in the comment section. I'll happily give a read and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, take care. Remember, the Emperor protects.